Loyal. I think he was loyal to a lot of people, and I think a lot of people called him best friend because he just made you feel like he was your best friend, you know, and dependable. We had many talks about being a head coach, being an assistant coach, mentoring guys. Talked about kids all the time, what kid was doing what, who was doing great. We both were going through some issues, and we helped each other with that and talked about Jesus and how he handled things. Lovable, you know, you just had to love the guy. He just made you feel special, and I miss that.
Patience, loving, and toughness.
Say Coach Mack was strong and tough and encouraging.
Coach Mack was passionate about a lot of things. Caring, he cared about everybody. Loyal, never gave up on you.
He was energetic, he was outgoing, and then he was encouraging a lot of the people here.
Coach Mack, I think definitely passionate. He's a passionate guy. He loved everybody. He was loving, is definitely one. And then I would say loyal. He's a loyal guy. He's always helping everybody out.
He was caring, energetic, and passionate.
Youth would probably be energetic. He's very energetic all the time, happy to see us, and encouraging, always encouraging us on and off the field, whether it came to sports, grades, whatever. Just strong. He was just always like strong spiritually and physically. I mean, he worked out all the time, and that's just one of the things you saw in him. And he's always seemed like he was flexing a bicep or something.
He's very happy. Happiest man I know. He's passionate, and he loves everyone. No matter who it is, he loves everyone.
And Coach Mack meant a lot to me. He taught me how to be a better man on and off the field, and he told me there's more to life than football. He taught me good things in football. He also taught me to be a student of the game and also be a student in the classroom, and to keep your dreams alive. Never stop. Always keep fighting for what's right and for what's in your mind, what's in your heart.
He meant a lot to me on and off the field, because on the field he was my coach, and I got a lot of respect for coaches, but he meant the most to me off the field because he never gave up on me, and both on and off the field, because off the field he would work on my knee when I was injured and just stretch me out every day after practice, and just always there for me to help me out, and that really meant a lot to me. And on the field he was just a great coach, and I mean, I can't really find words to describe it, but he was just a great coach to me and a great guy all around.
He showed me how to be a better man and how to be strong and doing the right things. He showed a lot of hype. He would be very encouraging to everybody.
And he would just tell you how it is, just tell you things about life, like, you know, life's not always gonna be like good for you, and whatever you think you had to ask him, you just asked him, and he was always there for you.
Coach Mack, he meant a lot. He was always there. Like when you were injured, he was the first guy helping you out, like with your injuries on the next week, you know, trying to get everything ready for the next game, you know. He was just always there. He was just one of those guys that you could always depend on. He's just that type of guy. I think it brought us closer together. It really did make us like a close team. He was really definitely one of the parts that made us like a real fist and just playing together.
He was just like straight up. He was honest with me. Like if I was ever going through something, he'll be there for me. And if I ever needed help, he'll make sure he can do the best he can to help me out. Like sometimes, because my parents at work, it'd be hard for them to try to get me back and forth to practices or stuff like that. So he'll ask me, do I need to get picked up or get taken home and stuff like that.
He was more than a coach. He was he was like a second father. He meant a lot to me, and when he passed, it was tough. It's never easy losing somebody, but you know, he was always there for me and for anybody of that sort. And whether it was on the football game, off the field, he always gave everybody rides, high fives. Even when you did something bad, he was always there to cheer you up.
He kind of coached differently. He always had the spark and the fire, and this guy was always yelling and happy to see us, and he's what brought the spark to our team.
It's hard to make a lot of friends being a head coach because you got to be tough on your players, tough on your coaches. It's hard to trust people sometimes, and you just don't know day in and day out who has your back. You know, and loyalty is the #1 thing with assistants, and making sure you can trust guys, because that's what I found in Jeff, was just a super loyal guy and making something great out of a season that started really rough, and Jeff was a big part of that. And we're gonna miss that this year, you know.
A man of God, because he loved the Lord loved him. And I think, you know, when kids after I'm gone, kids who come up to MC would know who he is and what he brought on the field and what he brought to the school, and that was the Word of God.
Just the coach that always was fired up and there for the players at the same time. I mean, he was the guy you can come to and talk to about.
Spirit. Every time, like, we'd be down, I don't know, it'd be like 4th down or something like that, he'd always be the one to fire everybody up, get everybody happy and get us going, and that's what would, you know, strike a comeback. It was a defensive session. I was in a defensive end and I was messing up, and Coach Mack started to yell at me, and he said, you could either give it your all, or you could give it your none and get off the field. So, I mean, like, when I don't give it my all, that's what I think, that comes into my head, and I think of that memory and start to give it my all.
I think Jeff's legacy is a pretty big one. I mean, how many coaches have been through here, assistants and head coaches, over, you know, the last 30 years, 40 years, going on 40 years now. And I don't know if another man had more of an impact on kids in such a short time. He was back, and then going back to 2001, 2002, 3, 4, however long he was here back then. You talk to guys like Connor Pierce, Matt Steenberg, and you know, they have nothing but great things to say about Coach Martin and how much they loved him and miss him. So I think that's his legacy, an impact and a love and an influence on young people is definitely his legacy. So we owe a lot to him, and that's why he's going to the Ring of Honor, because he made such an impact over his tenure here, and I was so glad to have him back, and I miss him a lot.